general nerdery.
Amy Pond, there's something you must understand about us, because it may someday save your life. We are definitely two generals of nerdery with a podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
It was okay. I didn't have anything great for this intro here, but I love that line.
I'm Tyler. What are we
I'm
doing?
Zach. How is this going? Welcome to General Nerdery. We're your generals of nerdery. We already said that. That's Tyler. I'm Zach. We're here on your podcast about liking things, and we're diving in once again to Doctor Who.
After editing it yesterday, it was weird not jumping into the aloha, bienvenidos, and welcome to New Island.
So close. We are just getting a few episodes recorded before we start dropping that one because we don't have news on that one. We don't have to worry about being topical. We can get a backlog. So nice.
We do have news on this one, though.
Yes.
The first bit of news being, we dropped word balloons.
We did drop word balloons. Literally was talking about that. I took a bigger drink of my drink there than I meant to. Yeah, we dropped word balloons, which we've been talking about since, September, August. That's on
previous.
Us. That's
Who
on.
knows?
It's on 2020. That's actually, I don't even take responsibility for that one.
No.
It is our other podcast. Other podcast. We make many podcasts together, where we do our job as walking nerd libraries, basically.
It's the short version of this.
Yes. Very focused. It was originally going to be a bit on this. Then we have too many bits.
So, ask us nerd questions and we'll answer them on there.
Yeah. It's only about 15, 20 minutes long. I will warn you, the first episode's a little primitive. We recorded it last spring. And I have grown as a podcaster since last spring. Not a lot, but some.
We're really showing it this episode.
We're on top of things.
No, it's super fun so far. Like you said, I haven't listened to it again yet, but I remember those first ones being super rough. But, you'll get a new episode every Wednesday from here until who knows when.
Well, we have 11 episodes for the first season, and we're working on the second season as we speak.
Yeah, so it should keep up pretty regularly, and we're only going to get better as it goes on, and the questions are still fun, even if the rest of the podcast is shambly at first.
We're really selling this well.
Go listen to us.
Yay! So was that actually one of your news pieces there, or did you just want to...
Well, no, I figured we should plug ourselves.
No, perfect. Yes, I'm not arguing.
We could really start in on our news, though.
Yeah?
Technically, I think we're starting with one of yours.
Yeah, okay. God... I formally apologize for this episode right now, apparently. Anyways.
We got our Fantastic Four of the Week.
Yep, Fantastic Four of the Week. For our Reed Richards, we have whatever the hell Reddit did with GameStop this week.
Yeah, okay, so maybe not purely science, but deals with enough numbers that it probably counts.
Numbers, math, and real life, which was kind of close enough to our Reed Richards.
Okay, so...
This is my news thing, but we had to,
This is neither of our strong points. I tend to consider myself to be a fairly intelligent person most of the time. Financial shit goes way the fuck over my head. Every little term is something I feel like I end up having to look up, and I still don't understand how a lot of it works.
Math is not my strong suit. I can talk history. I can talk, philosophy to an extent. Obviously, I can talk art, things, math.
However, I have been trying to learn a lot this week, partially because I've been following this pretty much since the beginning, being an avid Redditor.
I don't think I've ever actually... No, I've used Reddit, but never, commented on it.
Okay, avid lurker on Reddit. I also upvote a lot of things because I'm not a heathen. If it makes me laugh, I do it. You all love me out there, all you fellow Redditors. I know that. Anyway. So... Deep fucking Value made another big hard call. Wall Street Bets isn't something I normally follow, but it pops up every now and again in hot and sometimes even makes the main page because they're entertaining.
Because it's just a bunch of weirdos online talking about Wall Street and keeping track of what they're doing.
Not just keeping track. That's r/Wall Street.
Oh,
Wall
okay.
Street Bets is a bunch of people who have no problem just throwing away their fucking life savings on a stupid, like, I think this is going to skyrocket in the next day and I'm going to sell it immediately.
Wasn't Martin Shkreli, the, like, Pharma Bro, a moderator on that for a while or something like that?
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't go super deep on them. I like whenever their threads pop up because they're usually pretty entertaining, because the core of Wall Street Bets, they have their own little culture. They consider themselves the ultimate internet Wall Street degenerates. They love the fact that there's a lot of them that kind of live our existence. Like, these aren't heavy investors. These are day-to-day people that just, like, I have a little bit extra cash this week. I'm going to throw it, instead of throwing it in a casino, I'm going to throw it in a fucking Wall Street.
I have met the type. I'm confused by the type, but I just buy comic books. So I'm really not, like, judging. I'm throwing away my money at least as fast as they are. Now,
a few of them are, like, more normal investors as well as doing this sort of thing. A lot of people are giving Deep Fucking Value a lot of credit for orchestrating this himself. He's more just like a really well-known figure on that board that's made some hard calls before. And he sort of went, hey, it looks like they're shorting GameStop, so maybe we should all go buy it.
And people took him real seriously. Okay, real quick, let's explain what shorting is, because shorting is confusing as all get out.
All right, so actually, this started on Reddit. I'm going to pull information straight from Reddit. I went to r/explainlikeim5.
Well played.
And user Brad or something explained it this way about 3 days ago. And this will start from very basic to what is sort of going on. Buying and selling stocks, very basic. You know, you want to earn money, you put out this stock, people buy it for a certain price, you raise money that way. Short selling. You have 100 of my stock. I come up to you Monday and say, if you loan me 100, I'll give you $2 and all of it back Friday. You agree, I go off, sell it all for whatever. In this example, he's actually using oranges and $1 each, but I didn't want to start getting mixed up with the oranges too much, because otherwise I was just going to get hungry and lose.
Fair enough. We're unfocused enough already.
So then, and I sell them for $100 each. So now I have $100 and owe you $2 and your oranges back. I hope your oranges will be cheaper Friday, and if they're only worth 50 cents, I buy 100 oranges and give you them and the $2, but I still end up $48 richer.
Okay.
Now, some hedge funds basically decided to short sell on GameStop because it's been failing for years.
And you can kind of use this, I mean, hedge funds have used this to destroy companies, honestly. If they decide, they're going to short, we're going to tell everyone or they're going to die, we're going to short them and then tell everyone they're going to die, that can kill companies.
Absolutely. So then what happened when people noticed that they shorted GameStop is a short squeeze. Which is, someone saw me make the deal on the stocks and then immediately sell them. So they know that I have to have those stocks back by a certain time. So if you go buy up all the stocks, and then when it comes back around time to have to pay, you can be like, sorry, buddy, all the stocks are now $20 each. There's nowhere else for you to get them. I know that you owe that person, so now you're forced to buy them from me.
So instead of buying that orange for 50 cents when you got it for $1, basically, it is now $20. So
you would end up owing $1,902 in this particular example.
So they got a few hundred million stocks, and now suddenly companies are out billions of dollars.
Shorting is a fucking casino bet, because you can only gain a certain amount of money, because you're at best case scenario the stock becomes worthless, but theoretically the stock can
go up. Do
go up
what it just
infinitely.
did.
So that's kind of what happened. Deep fucking Value was like, they're shorting it, let's squeeze it, and got the internet on board.
What's interesting is a lot of people who don't really understand, I think, millennial culture, because this feels like a very millennial thing, although I know a lot of people across the board are doing it, is it's not that we necessarily liked GameStop. I say we, I haven't done any of this. I know you did a little, but...
I've been looking at it, but my money hasn't cleared yet for me to actually throw down anything. It sucks, and I'm maybe too late on GameStop, but some of the same sort of thing is happening with AMC, and I might be able to make some money off that later this week.
And we'll get into that. But it's not that we're like, oh, GameStop, because people are like, oh, they're trying to save the video games. No, we don't have wonderfully high opinions of GameStop as a company, from what I understand.
No,
they're kind of awful. We just are pissed that hedge fund people are doing this. It's best case wildly unethical.
They're literally a bunch of people that have nothing to do with the company. So it's not even like CEOs of the company are making out like fat cats. It's people that weren't even involved making bets and making money off of companies going under and people losing their jobs.
Yeah. And sometimes destroying the company in the purposely destroying the company so they can do this.
So part of the fun part of this is this actual explanation goes into this. What is stock manipulation? When I buy 100 oranges, I go around and talk about how bad they are. I tell my friends not to let anyone buy any so the demand drops. I go on CNBC and talk about how I bit into a nasty one and threw up. Now they're only 25 cents. How wonderful. I can buy my 100 oranges for 25 cents, and now my profits are $73. We see this kind of market manipulation from hedge funds all the time. They have the money to hire millionaires of different stripes to go into certain places to drop public opinion of certain things when they do decide to do things like this, shorting stocks and such. So there's been a lot of a back and forth because Wall Street Bets is basically just the same thing, but for average people that can't hire millionaires.
Which
they're
the
trying
billionaires
to claim,
are pissed about.
They're trying to claim illegal stock manipulation. I'm not sure what that's called. But it's literally the same thing they do, just on, our level.
The single fact that any of this is legal is mind-boggling to me. But, if someone's going to beat them at it, at their own game, I'm glad that it's random assholes on Reddit. No offense, Redditors, but I'm right. I do know some billionaire went on, CNN or CNBC or something like that.
CNBC.
And was talking about how bullshit it was and just made himself look like the most 1% of the 1%.
Yeah, so let me see. I might actually be able to pull up some real numbers here. Basically, when all of this started, GameStop was valued at $20-ish. And they were hoping it was going to, drop down off of however many shares were out there. They were going to make probably $500 million off of it. Maybe not that much, but
I mean, they bought more shares than existed.
So that was, yeah, that even I don't know how that works, and even the people trying to explain it really easily are like, we have to skip this part because there's no way to explain how this happens easily.
It shouldn't,
right? So what actually happened, it wasn't just that they noticed the short, they noticed what you said. It's, if we bring the numbers way down, GameStop only had 100 shares total. Basically, they sold 125 on a loan to cover their shorts. And so that is called a gamma squeeze or a short squeeze, and that's what's happening. And so there's more shares loaned out than available, because normally that would mean that they can make more money off of them. But now that just means that they are going to lose a lot more money off them. The hedge fund...
Hundreds of millions, more money than we will ever see in our lives combined.
Melvin Capital, I think, reported today that they lost 50% of their everything in this past 2 weeks.
Holy Jesus. And I've heard people be like, but what about the jobs of the people who work at the stock? Like, I'm sorry. I don't care. Hedge fund manager, go get a different job. You're gross.
Yeah.
Showing my colors here.
So, yeah, before all this started, GameStop was trading right at about 20. They were hoping it was going to drop down to about 0, make whatever on the 12 million shares or whatever that were outstanding. Today it actually dropped down because more of the action is probably going to happen later this week as people continue to hold on the stock, because eventually they have to pay it back. So the theory is you hold out until they have to pay. Mm-hmm. Although some people are... There's a lot of shit going on right now, and I'm trying to not get really pissed and dour about it because there's some real blatant misinformation happening right now. But
well, and every time we turn around, a new thing has happened. So by the time that this episode comes out, we're going to be a week out of date.
But when market closed on Friday, I think it was sitting at 325.
325,
yeah.
Yes.
Today it closed at 225, which is down from that 3, but it's not over yet. I think people are expecting it to possibly peak more like Wednesday, Thursday, if not go into next week.
Oh, Jesus. And they just need to kind of hold the line, keeping
as long as they hold the line. If people start getting scared off and shit starts getting sold off, then it basically the hedge funds are just still going to just end up making money on it again. At this point, a lot of them have taken advantage of the storing stock and invested anyway and are going to be making money as well. But at least in this case, we're also seeing
other people make money.
Average people make hundreds of thousands of dollars. I think, I think Deep Fucking Value might have bought a lot of his shares back when they were only like 20 cents at one point.
Oh, Jesus.
Like I said, he actually is a decently well-off investor anyway. He just likes to take big portions of his money and still do these weird kind of shits.
I guess if you can afford it. I don't understand the stock market or the appeal of it at all.
But part of this wasn't just that. GameStop's the big one because it was the one where, they did the short squeeze shit and all that. There's squeezes going on at other companies. We've been talking for months now about how bad AMC's doing.
They were, as recently as a couple weeks ago, being like, we don't know if we're going to reopen. Like, they've sold off all of their theaters in some country. I don't remember which one it was.
So before this fiasco started, AMC stock was about $2.
So remarkably bad.
It's currently sitting at 13. Its peak was just under 20. And it's getting roped in with this along with Nokia and BlackBerry. And if people hold, it might also spike up to maybe like the 90, 100 range before this is all over.
So not as exciting as GameStop, but still
a huge increase. And I believe the AMC, from what I've read, it seems like the AMC company themselves have done what they need to with this increased stock prices to make sure that they're going to stay in business for, I think, at least 2 more years.
Yeah, I heard up to 5, but I don't know for sure. But yeah, basically, they just saved the theater industry.
Yeah.
The movie theater industry.
I think Cinemark has also seen a little bit of an uptick, but not as much as like AMC. Mm-hmm. But a lot of these things where hedge funds were betting on these companies just going under and making money off of people losing their jobs, now a lot of like normal everyday people are making good money off of them.
Well, and not just that, but like, I'm really going to show my colors here. No one's been fucking helping them. Any of these companies, big companies, small, very big companies, but like the companies that need help, no one's been helping them.
Right.
So people decided to, which is remarkable because no one's been helping the people either, but the people are still finding ways to help themselves and each other. And people, as a not capitalist, I'm still remarkably impressed by this. And like in Rome, they would have called it the power of the plebs, but
Well, and it's also interesting just because a lot, especially of the people from like the original people from Wall Street Bets, like I said, this is kind of just what they do, and they normally live very similar existences to me and you anyway.
Mm-hmm. Basically, they work in a grocery store and
they don't care if they lose the money.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of people right now holding on just to make the statement.
Well, and I know a lot of people who invested as much money as they could at the beginning, but enough that, you know, they're not going to be out billions of dollars. Worst case scenario, that $100 or whatever they first started with is gone again. Whatever.
It's mostly been done as jokes just to further perpetuate the meme, but there is people that have already put their GameStop stock into their will to pass on to their kids because that's how committed they are to holding.
That's impressive.
I know a guy who has, I think, 11 shares. He got in on it pretty early, and if it hits 1,000, him and his brother-in-law are getting diamond hands tattoos.
Yeah, most of this is, I mean, some of the people have put in probably too much money. But a lot of people have just, I've got $100 to spare. I've got $200 to spare. And that's part of what impresses me so much about this. I don't get it. I'm still worried it's going to backfire on us somehow. But it's a powerful statement in an age where we kind of need statements like this.
Yeah. I really thought I was going to end up being able to explain it in a way that was more entertaining, but mostly it's
the stock.
As soon as I start thinking about it, it just starts hurting my brain. It's really not the type of shit I normally follow, and it's been a lot of trying to educate myself to even follow some of these stories. But
if they hadn't saved AMC, I doubt we would have covered this one. All right, hit us with something easier. How about a Johnny Storm?
So normally I said my Johnny Storm would be from either like the Friday or we're on Monday, so either Friday or Monday or over the course of the weekend.
Something new and hot. New and hot.
Well, this technically happened before Friday, but as far as our interests are concerned, I think it's the hot news. It's pretty new and hot. We have a lot of the main principal cast announced for the Netflix Sandman series.
Pretty excited.
We have Tom Sturridge as Dream.
He kind of looks like a young Neil Gaiman, so that's appropriate, because so did Dream.
I didn't watch Velvet Buzzsaw, though that he was most recently in that. However, I did see him as a young child in the made-for-TV Gulliver's Travels that starred Ted Danson, if you remember that.
I have, but that was, 20 years ago? 30 years ago?
He was a young Gulliver.
Okay. I have spent, since I've seen this, going, where have I seen this man before? I doubt that's what I was thinking of.
I just love me some Ted Danson.
Nope, that's great.
We have Vivian Achimpong as Lucienne, the gender-swapped version of Lucian.
The librarian guy.
The librarian. She apparently is in the remake of The Witches, but I have yet to see it.
That just came out pretty recently, so... That book gave me nightmares as a child.
The Witch? Oh, yeah.
I don't think I ever finished it. It scared me too much.
I definitely finished it, but it was one of the ones that I read not as much. Oh, also, if you never finished it, like, the ending is sad.
Yeah, it was Roald Dahl's... Anyways.
No, like... Okay, spoilers for the book version of The Witches, just because we have to bring this up now. He chooses to stay as a mouse at the end because they have shorter lifespans, and his grandma's getting old, and he doesn't want to live without her.
Jesus fuck! Good God, Roald Dahl. I know that was him writing for a more adult audience, but Jesus.
We have Sanjeev Bhaskar as Kane.
It's a very different Kane than I think of usually, but that's fine. It was always going to be.
I think, mostly British stuff, but not stuff I've seen. Although he was in that Yesterday movie. Good for him. I didn't watch that either. Although I remember seeing I remember seeing the trailers. It looked fine. He was in a Doctor Who episode, though.
Ooh, which one?
Death in Heaven. He was Colonel Ahmed.
Okay. I don't remember him. I know it was a Peter Capaldi episode, but...
It was one of the Cybermen ones.
I never liked old. Get into that.
To go along with Kane, we have Asim Chowdhury as Abel. He did... I never did do this either, though, and I keep meaning to. The Black Mirror Bandersnatch, he's in that. The sort of choose-your-own-adventure.
Yeah.
That's such a neat idea, and I never... Yeah, I don't know.
I'll give this for Neil Gaiman. He was always one that's like, you know what we need more of? Representation. And he, owns it.
So those were the guys that are probably the least known, because they're primarily British, and to be fair, Indian actors do not have enough, representation yet.
Mm-hmm.
So then we have the Corinthian, played by Boyd Holbrook. This makes me happy. He was the bad guy in Logan.
Okay, yes.
The young bad guy.
That should be fun.
Yeah. This is inspired. Gwendolyn Christie as Lucifer.
That is... I wasn't a big fan of the Mike Carey Lucifer spin-off series, but if they do Gwendolyn Christie as the head lead of it, I'm in. Sign me up. I know we already have...
Tom Ellis.
Yeah, whatever. I'm sorry, Tom Ellis. I hear you're really great in that, and I don't doubt you. But Gwendolyn Christie...
I'm actually surprised that I haven't seen more uproar about her casting. I was kind of waiting for it.
Yeah, but everyone's also sort of in love with Gwendolyn Christie. She seems to be one of those actresses that has largely been accepted across fandoms.
Also, I just never would have thought of it, but her face legit looks like some of the panels of Lucifer.
Visually, it's right, and just... she could play a great Lucifer.
The other big one that was announced, Charles Dance as Roderick Burgess. Burgess?
I don't remember. Charles, that's one of the Game of Thrones guys.
Yeah, that's
Tyrion's dad.
Yeah, Tywin.
Yeah, he plays the patrician in one of the adaptations of the Discworld stuff. Oh, it's so good.
I usually think of him from Space Truckers, but...
You're the only one. You are the only one.
No, Charles Dance is always just incredible.
He owns it every time I've seen him on the screen. I didn't even like Game of Thrones, and I liked it.
He was the best part of Game of Thrones, looking back on it. Everything he did on screen in that show was mind-blowing. Also, I think he's going to be a really good Roderick Burgess, I think.
Burgess is the one that captures Dream, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that should be interesting and terrifying.
And that's all we have so far. I have seen a lot of people who don't even want to weigh in on the casting until we find out who our Death is.
Fair. That's... I'm trying to think of who I would cast as Death.
No idea. Ooh, actually, I take that back.
Who?
Zendaya.
Actually, yeah. I don't have a better solution than that. Zendaya would... maybe Pearl Mackie?
Okay.
She played Bill Potts on Doctor Who. It would be a very different Death. Zendaya could pull off a much more traditional, Neil Gaiman's Death.
Yeah, a traditional Neil Gaiman's Death, which is not your traditional death, but... no, that's our hotness.
All right, I've got kind of two for Invisible Girl, because they're so small and invisible that we would have missed them anyways, and not much is happening in the comic scene, which is what I tend to go to for those. First off, Chapter House Publishing is merging with Lev Gleason something or another and becoming Comic House. I am mentioning this for two reasons. One, I have mentioned Chapter House before. They're a small Canadian company that have been making books like Captain Canuck and The Pitiful Human Lizard, which is so good, and Phantoma, who is a undead jungle girl.
Mm.
So pretty great. And I've mentioned them before because they're small, a small comic company, and I like trying to support those where I can. And mixing with Lev Gleason, who used to be a major comic book publisher up until it folded in the 60s. And they're writing a book based off of one of my favorite Golden Age characters called the Death-Defying Devil, formerly the Death-Defying Daredevil, but once Marvel made Daredevil, they couldn't keep using that. Death-Defying Devil was the inspiration for Peter Cannon, and Peter Cannon was the inspiration for Ozymandias. So in very, very changed formats, without Death-Defying Devil, you wouldn't have Watchmen. And then my other small one, because there's, as I said, nothing that exciting on it, Brian Bendis is no longer exclusive at DC Comics. And Brian Bendis being exclusive at DC was a pretty major deal when it happened. He had been working at Marvel for like 15 years. He had been one of their main writers that entire time. And when he left and went exclusive to DC, it was the biggest, like, creative catch, like, successful sales catch that DC had gotten in a long time. And they kicked a pretty successful Superman creative team off of their book to give it to Brian Bendis. And then they fired him off of Superman, and he's still working for them. He's writing Justice League, so he's still doing one of their big books. But he's not exclusive, and they're not paying him what was, I don't know how much, but was supposed to be a pretty absurd rate for how much money comics make. Like, he got a sweet deal that is not there anymore, and we've been tracking whatever the hell is going on over at DC Comics right now. And this is kind of another sign of AT&T is not willing to deal with the comic industry in the form that it's been in since, I don't know, the mid-90s. Which is good and bad.
Right. Can you think of anything this might lead to other than we'll just get some stories from Brian Michael Bendis elsewhere?
I could see him going back to Image for some stuff, which would be pretty interesting, because he was pretty heavily involved with Image for a while until he went exclusive at Marvel and brought all of his books over to Marvel, which was a pretty big loss for Image. I think we are coming closer to the end of the exclusive creator and, like, hyping them up in a lot of the ways that comics have been doing for a while, with you know, Mark Miller or Jeff Johns, who started as a nobody, went exclusive at DC, and then catapulted himself up to working on the Wonder Woman movies. And Justice, like, being a big name in, like, DC beyond just comic books. Jeff Loeb did something similar for Marvel, although both of my examples have kind of fallen out of grace, but it is what it is. I don't know what it means yet. It does mean, in some ways, I think, opportunities for some more up-and-coming artists who don't charge as high on their page rate. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Like, comics need new names. But new names, because they're cheap, always makes me nervous.
Right.
Comics have not had a good year, and I'm really scared to see what happens next, while also admitting that, I mean, we were like the theater industry. We are calcifying. I gotta stop saying we. I'm not part of this industry. But comics were calcifying, and they can't keep that up.
Yeah.
And I want them to stay, so I hope it's good.
Me too. So I have our Ben Grimm, our thing.
Okay.
At first I thought it was going to be a clobbering time because some other unfortunate news came up, but this is too good to pass up talking about. So last Friday, Warner Brothers revealed when the Snyder Cut's going to be released, March 18th. Along with that, they announced that the movie would be getting a, quote, immersive at-home dining experience via a meal kit from Wonderland at Home.
What does that mean? It sounds like MREs from the military.
I mean, these meal kits have been taken off. You hear, like, the Blue Apron things everywhere.
Blue Apron, please pay for us.
Yeah, pretty much. Wonderland at Home, there's going to be a themed meal kit to tie into Justice League. Well, they just announced their first dish, which is Aquaman expired.
Wildly different situation there, big guy.
The Ocean Trench. It's Icelandic cod piled high on a crisp potato base, drizzled with a tart French dressing, and topped with beer batter scraps.
Oh, that sounds really bad for you.
They also don't even have a picture of it. They released a drawing.
Okay, you know what I trust? Absolutely none of this. This is awful.
Here's the drawing of the Ocean Trench.
Oh, they're not even trying with the drawing. I could do that. I'm not a terrible artist, but Jesus, like, that's... No.
It was designed by Michelin-starred chef Carl Odell, but...
It sounds just basically like fish fingers.
I mean, as I'm seeing people point out, the only thing Aquaman is inspired about it is that it's seafood.
Yeah.
And
I mean, as a fan of Star Wars, I don't get to judge odd product placement too heavily, but also...
And, like, everything's going to be soggy with it all in a bowl, right?
Probably. I don't know. I don't
know. This one does not sound like a one that I'm going to be super up for, but I think that they have announced what a couple of the other dishes are going to be inspired by. There's going to be a Cornfields of Smallville inspired dish called Resurrection.
Almost everything we eat is corn anyways. Just...
And another meal is called Ancient Themysciran Fire.
Oh, it's going to be bad Greek food.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Really bad.
I'm so curious just how bad it's going to be after seeing the drawing of the Ocean Trench dish. You can order the meal.
They are not trying hard.
There is you can order the meal kit for two, though, for $130, or a 4-person kit for $240.
For one meal?
Yes, but I believe it's multiple dishes.
Oh, still. That feels so expensive. Oh no.
The meal for two is called the Mother Box for two. Yeah. It will have the Ocean Trench, 2 times Big Belly burgers, the Resurrection, the Ancient Themysciran Fire, some snacks and extras, a Coal Brow beer,
okay,
and some Jitters coffee.
Okay, this is sounding a little better, like price-wise, but Jitters, like Flash. Yeah, okay. I'm on to you.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably not going to jump in on this meal kit. I have not jumped in on a meal kit yet, and there was even a fucking Kevin Smith one, so I doubt Snyder Cut's going to get my money for that, but...
Oh, yeah, Kevin Smith went pretty hard on it.
On the movies pop-up stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still tempted. I think you still can get one. I'm still tempted, and it hasn't happened.
That's our news, yeah?
Yeah, although now I'm also tempted to say that I will do this just to watch the Snyder Cut with it, but I'm not going to.
Don't spend $240 on this.
If I do, we're all watching the Snyder Cut together.
I mean, I'll do that with you. I'm just not eating that food, no. There's so many good restaurants, not even far from here.
I know. I don't People know how to use DoorDash now. We've been going through this pandemic for how long? Like,
right? Like, this is such a hard sell. You know what we forgot?
What we've been ingesting?
Yeah.
What have you been ingesting?
Mostly I fell back into Food Wars again. I didn't mean to, but I'm reading it again. I own literally thousands of comic books, and you gave me an app that gives me access to 26,000 more of them.
Oh, some of them you already have.
Fine. 25,000 more of them. And I'm just reading 36 volumes of Food Wars. Probably about 28. I'll drop off. But, god damn. And then I watched about half of the season of Doctor Who. Of the season, this is 5. Because I watched the episode for today and then just kept going.
Nice. My ingesting's been really boring. It's been a lot of the same old things. So instead, I'm going to say that yesterday I might have yesterday combined with this morning, and we'll see if I actually go along with it into the future, but I spent a good deal of time looking information back up, and I may have convinced myself to jump back into Guild Wars 2 for the first time in 6 years.
Don't you have this, like, long list of games you've been meaning to get to?
Yes.
Like,
However,
you've been telling me for 6 months as soon as I finished The Witcher.
However, I miss the world.
That's fair. I keep wanting to jump back into Old Republic for the same reason.
I put probably close to 1,800 hours into the first Guild Wars, and was a guild leader. The guild never got super serious, but we probably had like 30 active members at our peak and would like set up different raids and stuff, and it was a lot of fun. Played Guild Wars 2 when it first dropped pretty hard for the first year or so, but there was just too much going on in my life at the time, and that was about the time when I needed a new computer before this one.
I saw a meme recently of the hedge fund shouldn't have bet against people that used to organize 40-person World of Warcraft raids.
It's fucking true. It's fucking true. But I've missed it, and I was like trying to describe to someone the Codex Alera books the other day, and when I got to the canon, I was wanting to be like, well, they're like the Char. And then I realized the person didn't know what the Char were. And I was like, they're not like the Char, but I want to go play as a Char elementalist again. Really badly.
Okay, you say Char, and I think of either Char Ansnable or Char Izzard,
like
so...
big, 9-foot tall, mean kitties.
All right, I'm in.
With horns.
I'm in. I'm not. I didn't like Guild Wars much, but...
And, I don't know. I wouldn't play it seriously again anymore, especially since the game's 8 years in.
No, but you might have some goofs.
But I want to see the world again.
I get it. I've been thinking of going back to Skyrim recently, so I really am not throwing stones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll see if it actually ends up happening, but I ended up making everything I did yesterday take way longer than normal because I kept just going back and looking up information. So that's all.
All right. Let's take a quick break and then dive into the 11th hour. So every time we do Doctor Who, which is kind of my like, man, I'm feeling kind of tired lately. I want like a chill episode. What about Doctor Who?
Yeah, let's watch some Doctor Who.
We had a lot of emotions after last week. Let's watch Doctor Who, or last episode.
Let's watch Doctor
1984. And we try to do a different Doctor every time.
So far,
because why not?
There's enough of them.
Yeah, there's 13 of them. Like, there's options. And honestly, I had been thinking about the early Matt Smith episodes a lot lately, because this season might be, in my opinion, one of Doctor Who's finest, like one of its highest points. This is season 5. The Doctor had just taken over. That says season 3 on your thing, but that's not correct.
No, that's season 31.
31. That makes more sense. Season 5 of the new series. Stephen Moffat had just taken over as the new head story person of Doctor Who after Russell T Davies left. Matt Smith had just stepped in this episode after David Tennant left. Basically, every major thing changes here, and the question was, can the series survive that? I mean, even with a regenerating Doctor, everything up to this point had been under Russell T Davies.
Mm-hmm.
And Moffat, for whatever we think of Moffat, which I'm sure we'll discuss, just knocks it out of the park in this episode.
I really like this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I think of New Who, by default, someone has to be the least favorite, and it's Matt Smith out of the Doctors for me.
I don't know who it is for me. I know my top 2 are Capaldi and Eccleston. So it's one of the other 3, but they exist so close to each other that I don't have... And I think it's because Smith's early stuff is so good. His later stuff fell too deep into everything that that Stephen Moffat gets wrong.
Right.
It gets so muddled. But Smith himself was always, like, on fire with it.
He's always game.
Mm-hmm.
He's just...
No.
He's my least favorite characterization of the Doctor.
There's
so
always
far.
a worst, as you said. Like, that's not... oh no, I just really like your show instead of really, really like your show.
Exactly. Like there was nothing. And actually, I was pointing out to you kind of while we were watching it a little bit before we started recording, like, even though he's probably my least favorite of the new Who Doctors, and overall probably has some of my least favorite storylines, none of his episodes are my absolute least favorite. My absolute least favorite's a fucking Capaldi episode.
What's your least favorite?
Rings of Akhenaten.
No, that's a Smith episode.
Oh, that's a Smith episode?
Yep, it's when he's still traveling with Clara.
Oh, that's
Why
right.
is that your least favorite
I
episode?
hate Rings of Akhenaten.
Oh, I like that one. If we're going to talk worse, we're going to talk like Fear Her and the Scribble Monster or...
Those ones don't actively annoy me so much, though. Like, you can literally explain the entire plot of Rings of Akhenaten by the fact that they didn't give... When the initial ceremony happens on the planet,
yeah,
everyone there at the ceremony actually partakes in the ceremony and gives something.
Yeah.
And they don't. And the thing doesn't end until they actually partake and give things themselves.
So if they just done their damn jobs, it would have been fine?
Yeah, if they would have just taken place at this fucking ceremony that they showed up to take part in, everything would have been fine.
Huh, okay. I just like Matt Smith's speech in that one, to be honest with you. And it does kind of show up of Matt Smith's range of... From, like, childlike boyishness to grumpy, angry old man. He does it so well. And you see it little bits here. It's interesting with Smith replacing Tennant, and this was kind of the biggest worry thing. Like, Eccleston hadn't been on long enough to be fully, like, firmly established, but Tennant was on for 3 seasons and, like, several specials. He had one of the longer Doctor Who runs, or, like, as a Doctor runs. So who they were going to pick next was a huge deal. And they were originally like, oh, we'll get someone middle-aged. And instead they chose... Smith is 28, I think, here?
Yeah, 28.
I mean, he was older than me, but not by much. And apparently, like, from the moment they auditioned, they're like, well, that's the new Doctor. I guess we're done. I mean, everyone else is here, so we should probably watch them. But that's our guy. But anyways, this one, 11th Hour, which
this
we
is
do
a fantastic
really like.
episode. I really, really like this episode.
This is one of my, like, top 3, maybe top 4 episodes of if I'm going to introduce you to this show, and this is, like, if I'm going to recommend a starting point, this is one of them. It's like Rose, the original one. Original of New Who. I don't introduce people to Classic Who until I've got them a little connected to New Who anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Classic Who, but it's more of an investment to jump in 2020
than back in the day.
Yeah. It's Rose, it's the 11th Hour, it's Pilot, which is the first one that we covered on General Nerdery for Doctor Who, and the first Jodie episode.
Mm.
And a lot of times it's a, like, new showrunner, new Doctor, except for Pilot. Let's all dive in together. And even that one's a new companion. If you can get, like, the trifecta of new showrunner, new companion, and new Doctor, it's almost always a good jump-in point.
That's true. That's true. God, okay, so 11th Hour. It's been a while since I rewatched it.
It's been several years for me.
I think I like it even more now.
I was able to watch it... Yeah, I think so. Because this is one of the first times I've watched it, like, critically. Like, what do I think of this episode as opposed to just, I'm here for the experience. And it is insanely tightly plotted. It is... There's none of the, like, Stephen Moffat wander that happens.
No, it all... The most wandering that happens is something that still has to happen to establish that he's a new Doctor, and it's just Smith's wonkiness at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. One thing I appreciate is he has some... In this first episode, he has some of Ten's mannerisms still, more than we see in any other point of him being the Doctor.
Well, I mean, even just his little speech at the end feels very Ten rather than the speeches we see from Smith later on to me.
A little bit, but also, I mean, just like we've had some cowboys in here, which is a line that he says. There's another one. He has a few lines that are straight Tennant references. And part of me wonders if they existed in an earlier form of the script, because originally Tennant was considering staying on for another season and decided to leave when Russell T Davies was. And you can see in this episode, even though it does beautifully introduce Matt Smith, the moments of it where Tennant could have played this episode almost identically and had it work fine.
Okay, so here's a little bit why it might feel a little bit Tenny and a little bit tighter in for Moffat. And I don't know how intentional this was, but I did see something pointing out that this episode is basically Smith and Jones.
It does follow a lot of the same plot device.
In Smith and Jones, you have a hospital harboring a disguised alien fugitive from justice, the Plasmavore, so that the Jadoon threaten to destroy...
Space Rhinos! Sorry, I love the
the
Jadoon. Their costuming is perfect.
Threaten to destroy the hospital. In this one, it's just that the Earth is harboring Prisoner Zero, so the Atraxi threaten to destroy the Earth.
Doctor Who does this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure I even am saying this as a critique, but they will just go, oh, we have the same basic episode idea, and just do it again, but maybe in a different era or in a different... I mean, the most recent episode is somebody invented a Dalek and they don't realize it's a Dalek.
Oh, no.
And so the Doctor has to stop them. That's Victory of the Daleks, except without Winston Churchill.
And it's also kind of inventing the Cybermen accidentally, just
God,
Daleks
I hate
instead.
the Cybermen, but yes. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, because they do so many things that it makes sense that they'd eventually find their own little weird repeats.
Right, and, I mean, stories repeat. I'm not trying to get down on it saying that it's...
But no, it's a very fair point, and I was thinking about it watching these Doctor Who, being like, I've watched this episode before, and not just that I've watched the season like 100 times, but I've watched this episode before, but with, like, Jodie, or with... even farther back, like Sylvester McCoy, or whoever. Like, it happens.
There's just a lot less Roko, Joko, Roko, ho in this.
And that's a loss.
That is a loss.
Although, I really like the Atraxi. The Atraxi work in a way that only works in Doctor Who. You could not have that species in Star Trek or Star Wars or Stargate or other sci-fis that don't start with star.
No, I like the Atraxi. Not my favorite, but I like the Atraxi.
I just think visually they're really interesting. Yeah, they're not deep. They're the Jadoon with less costuming.
I think, as I pointed out, I believe the Atraxi originated in the Eighth Doctor adventures.
That surprises me, because BBC is always really careful about... And they've included a few Eighth Doctor adventure references, but they're really careful about how much they do it, because as the BBC is a national company, there are certain rules about how much they can connect to other things, like, pocketbooks or whatever. So, from what I understand, they can't necessarily make those canon, like, legally, which is interesting and I had been unaware of, and I could be entirely wrong on.
So how do we want to go over this? Like, there's not a lot to spoil.
No, this episode came out 11 years ago this April. If you haven't watched it yet...
11 for the 11th hour in the 11th
That was
Doctor?
not on purpose, but I'm rolling with it. If you haven't watched it yet, just come back later. Watch the episode first. It's a better use of your time, and I like us.
And 11th Doctor, 11th hour, Also, the Doctor always saves things in the nick of time at the 11th hour.
No, it's a perfect title.
And it also gives things away. I prefer the French title for this episode.
What's the French title?
Prisoner Zero.
No, I'm sticking with the 11th hour on this one.
I didn't even know that was the French title. I always thought Prisoner Zero would be a better title for this because it's not quite so cutesy on the nose, which Moffat likes to do.
It's okay. It was originally The Doctor Returns, so
okay,
they're still
Doctor
doing...
Returns is way worse. Like, I will go with 11th Hour over Doctor Returns all fucking day long.
All right, let's start with...
But I have always thought that Prisoner Zero was a better title.
Because it tells you less?
And then I found out that the French title is also Prisoner Zero.
Oh. Let's start with the very beginning, because it is the very first line, "They win me over," with Amy Pond. When she's praying to Santa. It's adorable. That entire first scene, she's praying to Santa because there's a crack in her wall. Please send someone to help, like a policeman or something. And the TARDIS crashes in her backyard. And she's like, "It's great, Santa. Thanks. Perfect. Let's do this."
Cool.
Like,
you and me. We're cool. I got you sometime, buddy.
I've heard people raise complaints about the Doctor hanging out with a kid or the Doctor hanging out with, attractive young teenage girls and it being creepy. And they're not always wrong. But I think this one does a good job of not having it be creepy.
Mm-hmm.
And just, it's kind of two kids playing together.
Yeah.
Moffat was very openly being like, I am trying to target this towards kids. Not like by dumbing it down, but by looking at what is it about the Doctor that appeals to kids, and let's play up that. So it's a little bit creepy and it's a little bit weird.
Matt Smith is wonderful around young Amy and doesn't come off creepy to me at all.
No.
I do feel like later into the Moffat run, he doesn't ever become creepy, but he's way more... And this feels weird after saying what happened with Tennant and Rose, but I feel like Smith acts more like a Doctor boyfriend.
With Clara, he definitely is enjoying the Doctor boyfriend role, even though he is not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's at no point are they actually romantic, but he enjoys being...
But he feels like, when I think of Doctor boyfriend, I think of him first over Tennant, who, like,
I think
clone Tennant goes off with Rose.
God, that's creepy. I think it's because in his final episode, it starts with her pretending he's her boyfriend and meeting the family, and Smith's Doctor is like, "Yeah, let's do this. This sounds amazing." And what's the lines? "It has been a while, but I'll read a manual," or something like that. Like, you're like, well, that's going to go awful. Claire, what are you thinking? But yeah, he's not Doctor boyfriend at all here. He's kind of Doctor older brother, or like Doctor... It's why in a later episode when Amy kisses the Doctor and you're like, no.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't know. And the Doctor also is like, no.
It almost didn't even feel as familiar as like Doctor older brother. It was like Doctor really cool and knowledgeable childcare worker.
Yeah, Dr. Buddy.
Yeah. Like he knew what he was doing and how to handle this situation. Like, it was weird, but it didn't feel weird or creepy. Mm-hmm. It was weird how well he played.
It was weird how not creepy it was. Yeah. Like, because you explained that without explaining the Doctor, and strange man bursts into child's house and makes her cook things for him is a really horrific sentence.
Yes. Yes.
And it's not. It's one of the most charming Doctor Who scenes of all time, of the Doctor being like, I need to eat, but I don't know what I want to eat because my entire body's going insane because I just regenerated.
Carrying over the having to eat after seeing the Master go through that too was also kind of...
It was good and so much less creepy than the Master tearing apart and devouring a cooked chicken hold with like just the green... Oh God, I forgot about that. Doctor has adorable time with hanging out with Amy, quickly imprints Amy on him, and as is later revealed throughout the series, kind of imprints himself on Amy, being like, this one and it has to reveals the crack in her wall is a crack in time and space, and then has to go forward in time, and he's supposed to go 20 minutes to help stabilize the TARDIS, because the TARDIS just crashed and is having troubles.
Mm-hmm.
Messes up, comes out. They don't immediately reveal it, but messes up, reveals he accidentally comes back 12 years later, when Amelia is now 19, I think, 20, somewhere in that age.
Something like that. I think they do say it at some point, don't they? And I just missed it, or maybe not.
I don't know if they say it this episode, but they do later talk a little bit about her age. But yeah, about 19 or 20 years old, young adult stage. She's working as a kissogram, which I thought was kind of fun in a way that, like, kissograms are really creepy.
Yeah.
I don't like I'm pro sex work, but there's something just weird about the kissogram to me. It's kind of like hiring someone a surprise stripper.
Yeah.
Like, without telling them that it's coming or anything, like the people who pop up and they're like, yes, hello, I'm a package delivery man. Let's do it. No, man. No. But I remember it being, like, scandalous. Oh my god, they're going to, like, the doctor is traveling with a kissogram. What is happening to society? And we're being like, oh, get fucked. Like, come on, man.
Also, just let me admire Karen Gillan some more.
Karen Gillan is gorgeous. Both of these people. Matt Smith is a very handsome man. Less what I'm looking for, but, like, I am
Arthur Darville's fine.
I know people who are very in love with Arthur Darvill, so I am going to assume that he is also a very good-looking man. Not quite as pretty as the other two, though. That's an unfair comparison, though.
Right. How do you stack up to Nebula?
Cece fell in love with Amelia Pond immediately. She was, because I'd been watching Doctor Who pretty much since the new Who came out, but took her through this, and she was not happy when Donna left. She was real set that, like, no one can replace Donna. And, like, 15 minutes into this episode, she's like, I love Amy forever. Yeah, you do, girl. Even when Amy's wrong, great. Like, I still like Amy.
Yeah. Because she can be a little insufferable some episodes, and I still like her.
She can be very wrong. And part of it is just the strength of Karen Gillan's acting. Her face is so expressive, and she's so good at these tiny moments. The moment where she suddenly believes the doctor. Mm-hmm. Like, you can see that, like, shift from, like, no, this is insane, to, like, oh my god, it's real. Or her slight panic attack right before she agrees to travel with the doctor. It is such minuscule acting. But she pulls it off just beautifully.
It is weird going back and rewatching Fires of Pompeii, though, and seeing her.
It's weirder seeing Peter Capaldi in Fires of Pompeii. True. Let's be honest.
That's true. Like, that's a weird episode now.
It's not a great episode in the first place.
It's not. It's not a great episode anyway.
There are some nice bits in it. There's some really solid acting by Tennant and oh god, why can't I think of Donna Noble, Catherine Tate.
There we go.
There's some great bits between Tennant and Tate, but the episode itself is decidedly eh. And when I first heard that Capaldi, the guy from Fires of Pompeii, was coming on, I was like, what? No, that's an awful idea. And Capaldi's my favorite Doctor now.
I mean, we're getting a little off topic, but I do.
Us?
My thought on Capaldi, though, was I was just like, oh, the fuckity fuck guy? Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, I did hear about that. I've never seen whatever that... I've seen, like, an episode of it, and it didn't make any sense, because I'd never...
And he was also in Neverwhere.
And he was also in Torchwood.
So he has been on any Torchwood.
I've seen the first season and part of the second season. It's horny Doctor Who, because Captain Jack is the main...
Right.
It's fine. I've been meaning to rewatch it a little older and see if I enjoy it more. But the, like, alien that feeds off orgasms, sex energy, was not my favorite. Like, I don't know. I want to watch it as a recent description I heard was of everyone thought it was X-Files, but it was really just like defining queer TV for the like early 21st century.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll watch it someday. Who knows?
Everyone is super gay in it.
Okay.
Sometimes bisexual, but just somewhere on the homosexual scale.
Okay.
LGBT scale. But this one.
Bunch of people are in comas. It turns out it's because an alien is impersonating them.
Yeah, the alien impersonates people in comas. The CG on the alien is not great, but it's fine. Doctor Who can get away with cheesy graphics better than just about any other show. Like, when it doesn't land on Star Wars, you notice that doesn't look right. When it doesn't work on Doctor Who, you're like, it's okay. They used to make this out of cardboard. What do we care? Like, I thought we were going to have so much to talk about on this episode. And mostly I'm just like, it's so good. Just go watch it.
Yeah, it's so much fun. No, okay, so I love the badass boast at the end.
Is this world protected?
Yeah.
Yes. And it was one of the first times we really see Moffat liked to do this, to show all of the doctors leading up to your doctor, like the current doctor, and having like a big moment with the current doctor.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time he does it. It's probably the best time he does it. It is such a good way of being like, oh, you've never seen Doctor Who before? Okay, that's okay. This guy's had other faces. Here's the other faces. But then also when Matt Smith steps through those other, the hologram of the other doctors that is being shown, that is the moment that he becomes the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Up through that, as he's talking about, he's still
discombobulated.
He's not done cooking yet with his new regeneration, because usually they're like, I'm going to go have a lie down for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And Smith is like, let's go save the world!
And we saw him right beforehand finally pick out some threads, too.
That was kind of fun, watching him, like, deal with the aliens while picking out the threads. It showed how little he thinks of the Atraxi. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you could have destroyed the world, but whatever, dude. Like, come on. I face Daleks. You're not that scary.
I don't want to... Smith becomes the Doctor in that role.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it is helped by... And I don't know how, like, the exact number of episodes beforehand. But like you said, this episode feels... He does feel slightly 10E in this one. And we're not, in the grand scheme of things, that far removed from, like, Family of Blood.
Yeah.
Which is Tennant at his scariest. And
Yeah,
I think
it is
that,
some of Tennant's creepiest.
And that, I think...
But Waters of Mars is his creepiest. I'm going to give it that.
Maybe.
Which is real close to this one, too.
But I think it helps that we've been having this build-up all this time, and we get up to this moment where the Doctor is then turning it around and telling someone else, hey, run.
Well, and in Ten's regeneration, at the end of the episode, after the Sycorax, I can't believe I still remember that. The Sycorax flee and Harriet Jones blows them up in Christmas Invasion. He tells Harriet Jones, oh, I gave them the wrong warning, because he was like, this world is protected, go. He's like, I should have told them to run instead. And then this time, he does.
Mm-hmm.
But he also tells them it's protected. Like, this is like, come on, man. I've put work into it. He says that. He's, are you of this planet? No, but I've put a lot of work into it.
Which I think is reused from a different Moffat episode.
That doesn't surprise me. Moffat recycles a ton. Which is why we had bad Angels episodes, which we did not need to have bad Angels episodes.
Oh, yeah, that was from The Curse of Fatal Death.
I forgot that Moffat wrote The Curse of... If you've never seen The Curse of Fatal Death, it is a short that Moffat wrote that is considered Doctor Who, but it's not like canon Doctor Who.
Right.
But everyone just adapted to it so much. And it stars Rowan Atkinson as the Doctor. And I don't know who plays the Master in it, but it's he does a good job in like old school Master way.
Jonathan Pryce. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he would have been a great Master.
It's Governor Swan from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Holy shit. But it's a short, like, 10-minute episode, and the Doctor is going to get married and retire, and he's trying to make peace with the Master. But the Master keeps trying to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
So he keeps regenerating, but he's already, like, planned for this to happen.
Right.
Isn't Richard E. Gant in that, too?
Yeah, he cycles through being Richard E. Grant, Jim Broadbent, Hugh Grant, and then Joanna Lumley.
Richard Grant almost came back as the Doctor at one point. They did some animated shorts called The Scream of the Shalka, and he came back as the Great Intelligence in the later Smith stuff, which was only okay because the Great Intelligence is a half-ass character, but Grant was fun.
I mean, this is insane. Jim Broadbent.
That's
Moulin
Horace
Rouge.
Slughorn.
Yeah, Only Fools and Horses. I mean, Hugh Grant, we should all know it.
We know who Hugh Grant is, yeah.
And then Joanna Lumley was a Bond girl on Her Majesty's Secret Service. And she also did a number of other things, including
like one of the bad Bond movies.
Yeah,
okay.
I think she was also in the New Avengers. Not the New Avengers that we normally think.
know. The Emma Peel, the
Mhm.
Stephen Peel. It really shows how big Doctor Who was in Britain. Like, we talk about it, but it was the show. And it is still the show. In a way that I don't think America really has an equivalent to Doctor Who.
Right. Seeing the picture of Rowan Atkinson kind of makes me want to rewatch some Blackadder, but that's neither here nor there.
But yes. I hear he's kind of a dick in real life, but that happens.
Kind of makes sense, I think.
It does not surprise me. I'm trying to think of...
The other cool thing with this episode, I think, is it. Sometimes I like this, sometimes I don't. In this case, I like that from the jump with Smith, we're set up with 3 of the major arcs already.
Mm-hmm.
Or, depending on how you want to slice it down, you could say that they're all kind of connected too. But
the
you
crack
have
in
the
the
crack,
universe.
You have
Pandorica.
The Pandorica will open, and Silence will fall.
Silence Will Fall was the one I was let down by.
Mm.
And not because I didn't like the silence, because the silence were creepy, but I've watched a few episodes. There are a few moments of, like, setting up for the silence that don't really make sense with what the silence are. Like, there's a moment in Vampires of Venice where everything goes quiet for a moment, and the Doctor's like, Rory, what do you hear? And he goes, I don't know, I just hear silence. And they go on about it. But that doesn't make any sense with what the silence are.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like maybe the plan changed partway through, or maybe Moffat pulled an RTD and set up a really interesting back thing, but couldn't quite stick the landing there, but still made something interesting and cool.
I kind of like that it was with things like movies, a lot of the times it ends up being bad when you introduce too many things at one time because you only have so long to tell that story.
Mm-hmm.
We already know that this is going to be a long-running story. So I like the setup of like these different threads that you can follow through the episodes.
I do enjoy it. They sometimes went a little too far, but I don't think they did this season. I know the Pandorica episodes are a little nonsensical, but like...
Yeah, they're not my favorite, but
they're fun,
I like them more than the Impossible Girl stuff, though.
I will defend Clara. I don't care for the Impossible Girl. I'll back that up.
I hate the fucking... how much they leaned into that.
Mm-hmm.
Where like every other thing was the Impossible Girl. She's the Impossible Girl.
At this point, I was like, man, Moffat, how tired are you of this show? And then he got Capaldi and suddenly was not tired of that show again for a couple years.
Mm-hmm. God, that boast. That's this episode for me.
It is the defining moment. And just the random little jokes. Jokes that you wouldn't expect. Like the masturbation jokes with Jeff.
Oh, yeah. And he was
Never.
obviously looking at porn.
Never in a million years would I have expected just openly like, that dude's watching porn, without saying the word porn, in an episode of Doctor Who. Also fun, that dude's one of the main characters in Umbrella Academy.
Oh shit, that's him?
Yeah.
That is him. I've watched some Umbrella Academy.
That's I'm pretty sure it's the gorilla guy.
Yeah, I can't think of his name. The slightly I mean, he's fine, but he's not the interesting part of that show.
No, he's not Elliot Page.
No offense to Elliot. Also not the interesting part of that show by a long shot. Although I heard is a lot better in season 2. Season 1.
Fair enough.
So had you heard some of the runner-ups that almost got 11th Doctor?
I did, but it's been about 10 to 12 years, so...
And I found a little bit of a list here. Had Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Baron Mordo was almost... I love Matt Smith, but I'm suddenly wildly angry.
He turned down the offer due to scheduling conflicts and contractual disagreements with the BBC.
Fair enough, man, but God, that would have been good.
James McAvoy.
Professor X?
Yeah.
He would have been fine.
Yeah, he would. I think he would have been fine. I like him.
He would have been good.
I like him. I don't see it well.
I don't know what his doctor would be. I could see what, I'm sorry, Chiwetel?
Chiwetel Ejiofor, yeah.
Yeah. He would have, that would have been, like, possibly my favorite doctor ever.
Ooh, okay, here. I'll actually back it up a little bit. McAvoy was one of the runner-ups. I'm going to hold off on the other runner-up, even though it's not as amazing as McAvoy, because there are some other people that were screen-tested. Sean Pertwee.
Boromir? No, Sean Pertwee, the Third Doctor's son.
Who actually
looked screen-tested.
He screen-tested for it.
He's talked before about how he really wants to be on Doctor Who, but he doesn't want to play his dad.
I want him to play his dad so bad.
Everyone wants him to play his dad.
He looks so much like his dad.
He would be the perfect way to bring the Third Doctor back for... And I get why he doesn't want to just play his dad, but, like, he could do it, and also one of the Second Doctor's sons could play the Second Doctor pretty well.
Yeah.
Dudley Dursley from Harry Potter was one of Patrick Troughton's grandkids.
Oh.
So his son, or his grandson, is, yeah.
Matthew Horn. I'm not very... I don't know necessarily who Matthew Horn is, though it seems to be famous for being on Gavin and Stacey.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. He's a British actor of some success. Good for him.
I think Gavin and Stacey was James Corden produced.
Oh, cool. Okay, so it's probably pretty good then.
Patterson Joseph. Oh, he was on like Peep Show and stuff.
He looks familiar. Cool. I'm not placing him.
He was also in the Aeon Flux movie from 2005.
I think I saw that, but it was like when it came out.
He was on Neverwhere. He was the Marquis de Carabas. He is Roderick in an episode of Doctor Who. He's in Bad Wolf and the Parting of the Ways. He's the other...
the person that takes him out, or is trying to take her out in The Weakest Link. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. You know what? He was fine. I never would have considered... He's
also in Jekyll. He's great in Jekyll, too.
I don't have enough information to judge him based off of the one thing I've seen him, which was a crappy Doctor Who person.
And then Peter Capaldi was considered to be the 11th Doctor as well, but Moffat didn't think that the time was right.
Well, he was right, because Peter Capaldi is a fucking triumph. Even though I didn't like his first season the first time I watched it. It wasn't until I went back that I went, oh my god, this is good.
And then the other runner-up besides McAvoy was Russell Tovey, who is Alonso in Voyage of the Damned.
I knew he was a runner-up, but I didn't... He's not the one I was thinking of.
And has also been in...
he was in Being Human, and he was in... what is it? Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because he's the Ray.
Mm-hmm. I really like him.
He's good. I don't know how I would have felt about seeing him as the Doctor after having so recently seen Alonso.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I mean, Colin Baker was in a Peter Davidson episode. I think he could have done it. I think Matt Smith was a better choice.
Yeah.
Matt Smith, as I said, does great, so...
Alonso. I like Alonso.
I like that it ends with Alonso clearly hooking up with Captain Jack.
It's so great.
Like, he says goodbye to all of his companions, and the way he says goodbye to Captain Jack is, that dude would get in your pants. Jack being like, let's do this!
It's like, thank you, Doctor. I thought that was neat, though, to find... McAvoy is the most interesting one. I wish I wouldn't have led with that, but...
McAvoy was not as big back then, because I had First Class come out yet.
What year did you say this was? 2010?
If it came out shortly after this.
Was Wanted out yet?
I think so.
I think Wanted was 2008?
I want to say that's correct, but I don't know why I want to say that's correct. So he was at the point where he was starting to make some waves, but he wasn't as...
Oh, wow. Why did I know that? It was 2008.
Good job. He was better than the comic. It's a Mark Millar property. It's almost always better when it's not the comic. So he was big enough at that point that he was making some waves, but he hadn't jumped to the level of stardom that he's kind of reached since then.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Before that, I know I'd seen him in something. Oh, yeah, because I saw Atonement at a friend's house when his mom was watching it.
Oh, okay. I don't know Atonement. So.
But he was also the voice for Mr. Tumnus.
That's right.
He was Mr. Tumnus. I was thinking of somebody else. Yeah, that's what I first knew him from too.
Oh, I love Mr.
Voice
Tumnus.
of he was Mr. Tumnus.
Mr. Tumnus is like my favorite Narnia character. I don't even know why. All right, if you could cast anyone as the Doctor, who would you cast? I don't know if we've ever actually done this before.
Now, Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah.
After finding out
too, I don't care.
After finding out he was almost the Doctor, like, I think he could still really, really do well in that role.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else, though, that we haven't just talked about, let me think about it for a second. The Doctor.
Richard Coyle, I think, is who I would go with. Richard Coyle, what all has he been on? He was Moist von Lipwig in Going Postal, which you haven't seen. He was in another Stephen Moffat property as Jeff, who was this, like, horny little dingus on Coupling.
Mm.
I think he was the bad guy in Prince of Persia, but, like, I'm not going to hold that against him.
Oh, shit. I know that I watched that at least once. Oh, I think I know who he is.
He left Coupling, and Coupling took a dive in quality, so...
Okay, I've seen him on The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
I gotta watch that still.
He's the head of the magic. He's like the dean or whatever, if I remember right.
Cool. Father Blackwell, according to this.
Okay, cool.
He's shown he has a good range between kind of like brooding and weird, goofy in a way that I appreciate. That you have to be the Doctor. I don't know what the Doctor would be like. Like, I just want to see it.
I think... Ooh.
Go with him after Jodie. Like, Jodie, stay as long as you want. Don't get me wrong.
I think I'm going to go with Michael Sheen.
I'm hearing that one a lot ever since Good Omens. And yeah, 100%. They have to make sure that they don't just kind of make David Tennant. Which helps that he's old enough now that you can't really play David Tennant in 2005.
Right.
I'd be so curious to see what they do with... He's got range as an actor. I've been kind of wanting to see that new show he's on, Prodigal Son, where he plays a serial killer.
Oh, yeah. I've seen some things about that.
I've seen ads. I keep watching the ads for it, even though I don't watch the show, because I'm like, I do like Michael Sheen.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want to watch, what is it? The new one him and David Tennant did together while they've been closed off in quarantine.
Yeah, that one. I'll look it up real quick. Also, Idris.
You always pick Idris. I could say, who do you want to play Amy Pond now, and you would probably say Idris.
Maybe Idris. Maybe Johnny Legs.
It would be interesting to see, because the only times I've watched Idris things are in much more action-heavy bits.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he has the range to do more. I just haven't seen those. But I just have to keep being like, but it's like when people tell me Jason Statham, and I'm like, you want Jason fucking Statham to play the Doctor?
Jason Statham as the Doctor. That would be something to behold.
I can't imagine a Jason Statham role where he doesn't threaten to beat someone to death with a baseball bat.
Good point. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one.
I know a lot of people that are really... At one point, he was, like, actually considered. I don't think he was seriously considered, because he was...
I mean, I know he can be really funny.
He can be funny, it's true. And it would actually probably be good for him to not play the role that he played in... Not The Incredibles, the Expendables.
Mm-hmm.
Or the 100 other roles that he's played that is basically the guy from The Expendables. No, I take it back. He was pitch perfect in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
So good. So good. Now I want to rewatch that movie. Man,
this is not a Doctor Who episode for a Doctor Who episode.
It's kind of a Doctor Who episode.
Let's go with Cheadwell. He's who we want.
Look, we chose an episode that's too good. And all we can say is, like, go watch it. It has one of the most maybe shared set of screen grabs in Doctor Who history, with the barking like a dog, barking not like a dog.
Oh, that's a thing that I keep thinking would be that I kept thinking while watching this would be fun. Is anytime the actor who's playing Prisoner Zero has to go like open his mouth really wide and go like.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the CGI effects, they've got the creepy Prisoner Zero deep sea moray eel teeth. But they wouldn't, obviously, in real life. So they're like, all right, your acting direction is just go. Like, everyone acts scared when they do that.
Staged,
yes. I really want to watch Staged.
Yeah, me too. Haven't watched it yet.
No, I have not either. I don't have what it's on.
Yeah. Now that we got that, it's like, yeah.
It's got to be so fun to be a bad guy on Doctor Who. Like, makes me think of when Simon Pegg played it.
Oh,
and was also Simon Pegg could play a pretty good Doctor.
I think you're right on that.
But Simon Pegg was so clearly having fun being the, like, chewing on the scenery villain.
Ooh. I got a controversial choice for Doctor.
Is it Nick Frost?
No. It's a Kiwi.
Is it,
Rhys Darby.
Huh. Not who I thought you were going to go with.
What, Taika?
Well, I had that thought. Let's be honest here.
Because Taika would be an amazing Doctor.
If I was going to trust literally anyone who's not British, the only person would be Taika.
I want Taika to be a showrunner.
No, I was expecting you to go Jermaine Clement, honestly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I think he'd do good, but Rhys Darby, I'm a big fan.
I'm just on board with...
He's a little manic.
You're not wrong. I just think the Doctor, like, he's one of the few that I'm like, no, I don't care if he's a man or a woman or what color. They got to be British.
I know, and that's
or
where
a
it's
Scot, like Great Britain kind of.
And that's where I was throwing in that little controversial choice, but I could see him doing a fun Doctor. Maybe more of a maybe too fun. I'm backing off on that choice a little bit, but
in the same way, why can't I think of Doug Jones for some reason? Like if I had to pick an American, would be a fascinating choice.
Doug Jones would be fascinating.
And it'd be fun, as much as I love him as Saru on Discovery, to watch him actually use his face and not so much prosthetic work.
All the time. Well, and like, honestly, like if he wasn't already so famous famous for many things, but on the show as being Nardole, like Matt Lucas would be a great Doctor.
Matt Lucas would be a really interesting. I was surprised by Nardole because I don't usually care for his humor, but I really enjoyed Nardole. And when they first told me he was coming back, because I'd only seen Husbands of River Song with him at first, I was like, no, not him. And then, what is that? The Return of Dr. Mysterio or something like that, the next one. I immediately went, oh, yes, I see what the dichotomy is here. And that was a companion that we had never had. Or we hadn't had since the original series. Someone who could, like, deal with the Doctor almost on his level. I don't think we'd had that since, like, Romana.
Yeah. When
other Time Lords traveled with him.
And see, like, that's the other thing. Like, we have... other people have shown that they could be awesome doctors, but they're already too involved in the show. Like, what's her name? Michelle Rodriguez, is that it?
Missy?
Yeah.
Ooh.
She's a fantastic doctor, but that's because she's an amazing master.
Yes. Same with the guy who's currently playing the master, whose name I can't think of, but is also super good.
But you can't have them as the...
No, you can't be both the doctor and the master. Like, it's one thing to be like, oh, he once saved you. But now I'm borrowing your face because I earned it. But
knowing what they can do would have been an incredible doctor.
Yeah. Apparently, Michelle Gomez was like...
Gomez, that's it.
She's like, I'm available. I want to meet Jodie. That's a lie. I'm not available. But we will figure out a time for me to be available to be Jodie. And Cece was going, oh no, we need that. And then we need River Song too. So she wants Jodie, River, Missy. She's like, all girls. I'm like, I do want that. But there is one character I want to add to that list that would ruin your all girls thing, but would just make it perfect. And that's Captain Jack Harkness.
Yes.
Because the sheer unlimited chaos of those 4 characters all in the same episode together. Also, just Jack and River. Or Jack and Missy. Jack's never... he has met the Master, but only as David Sim? John Sims. So, like, having that, like, I remember you and kind of hate you and you tortured me to, like... I'm kind of horny for you now.
Okay, so to bring it back to this episode, who's a companion that you would have liked to see with Matt Smith that we never got to see with Smith?
Jack.
Okay.
And Donna.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't have minded some Martha. I always thought Martha got the short end of the stick. She deserved 2 seasons as a regular. And I like her in her first season, and I don't dislike that she is the, like... kind of lovesick one that the doctor doesn't notice, because I have been on both sides of that relationship before. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of fun to see it. But I also thought we deserved a lot more Martha standing up on her own rights. So I felt like she deserved a second season. And not just as a, like, I'm here sometimes.
Yeah, actually, I was going to say Martha just because I would like to see, like, later badass freedom fighter Martha juxtaposed against, like,
Matt
trying
Smith with
to
a bow
have
tie.
fun Matt Smith.
Yeah, because he is very much like, I'm done with my broodiness. He broods a lot himself, but especially early on, like, I stand a little bow-legged and I've got the bow tie and, like, I'm just being quirky and fun, and she would have been so confused by him.
And I have the hipster TARDIS.
Yes. We'll get to the TARDIS in just a sec. I want to finish this thought. There are 2 episodes of the Sarah Jane... one episode of the Sarah Jane Adventures that has the Matt Smith Doctor in it. And it also has, I think it's Liz Shaw, one of the 3rd Doctor companions. Mm. And Sarah Jane meeting Matt Smith and Liz Shaw meeting Matt Smith was really fun in both ways. I really like Sarah Jane. And I miss Elizabeth Sladen because she died in the middle of filming Sarah Jane Adventures, which is just fucking tragic. Mm-hmm. But this TARDIS, and you're right, it's a bit of the hipster TARDIS. Like, they went through the grunge phase, as they call it, in the 50th anniversary. But I will say, this is one of my favorite TARDIS consoles. Mm. Like, I really like this design. It's really pretty. I like the glass floor, so he can have, like, the different levels, but talking to people through it still.
Oh, yeah.
I like the kind of warm orange in the TARDIS. I think that's a good, like, homey color for the Doctor. It's got the round things, or, like, a reference to the round things without just the round things being there. Mm-hmm. It was apparently a nightmare to record in, which is why they changed it. The color made everything really weird and saturated.
Okay.
And,
I can see that now.
I think it was kind of difficult to get, like, the camera sets around where you needed them with the weird stuff. It's this or Peter Capaldi's I've basically turned the TARDIS into a library, or, like, the TARDIS console into a library, are my 2 favorite TARDIS consoles.
I'd have to think about my favorite TARDIS console, but I know it's not this one. This one feels... I like it, but it feels cluttered. I think it fits with Smith.
See, I just live in a cluttered house, so that doesn't bother me as much, but you're not wrong. That's,
I don't mind. I mean, I got some clutter. Not a lot. I've actually cleaned up in this room a bit, but compared to what it was.
My poor wife.
But for, like, a spaceship, it feels weird to not have it slightly cleaner.
Have you ever seen the Doctor Who American TV movie with Paul McGann?
Yes.
Because his TARDIS is real pretty. It feels very H.G. Wells Victorian, which was a very Doctor move to make. I don't mind Jodie's. It's my least favorite of the new ones. But it was a little better this most recent season when we see a little more of it. Like, it feels a little more complete in Jodie's first season. When we basically only see the console, it's strange.
I'm going to take a look through a couple of them real quick, just see if I might be able to come up with one that I do really like.
I mean, in the end of the final Sylvester McCoy seasons, it was literally just the TARDIS console and some dark sheets behind it.
I actually really like... I like the updated version of Smith's, I think.
I like it. It's a nice TARDIS. I was never quite as sold on...
When they got rid of so much of the orange.
Yeah. I was never quite as sold on the... It felt very cold for Smith.
Mm.
That cold blue and gray color scheme worked better for Capaldi than it did for Smith, I felt like. But, I mean, that was Smith who had lost Amelia at that point. And that was the Smith who never quite recovered from that.
This is actually slightly fascinating, scrolling through all the
TARDIS. Yeah, take the time to do that. Really, just... I
do. Yeah, McGann's is really good now that I see it again.
Good.
McGann's is really good. Capaldi's is really good.
I think Capaldi's is my favorite. I know some people didn't like it, but I really enjoyed Capaldi playing the electric guitar and talking to himself in the TARDIS. Like he's breaking the fourth wall. You know, the Doctor just talks to himself like he's giving a speech just to practice.
I think McGann's I might have to put in third place, but it's a coin toss between the second Smith and Capaldi's.
It's a classic look. It's updated. It's sleek. It looks old school, which the TARDIS should, but not, like, primitive.
Mm-hmm.
And it's where they moved away from the 9 and 10's TARDIS, and then 11's early one still had a very little, like, here's these random switches and dials. They're like, here's a fucking car horn, or like a bicycle horn is what I mean, or like whatever random. It looks like just the Doctor piecing it together over time. It makes sense, especially in the like time period where Smith is not doing anything for a while, that he would, as he grows up a little bit, he kind of ditches some of his like rebellious youth things that he had going on post Time War.
We never got to see the War Doctor's TARDIS, did we?
We saw bits of it, I think. But it was mostly just because there's one moment he's standing in his TARDIS, but I don't think we ever see the full like his TARDIS. I think it's mostly the one they set up in the 50th anniversary where the TARDIS is glitching and like getting stuck between different settings.
Mm-hmm.
I am glad they moved away from the almost all white that the original Doctor ones almost always had. Some of them looked fine, but it was just...
They don't look bad, but they're way dated retro now.
Yeah, that's it. They just didn't age as timelessly as some of the other ones have.
Mm-hmm. I am curious what the War Doctors would have looked like, just because the War Doctor does have one of my favorite sonic screwdrivers.
He's got a great sonic... Honestly, I just wanted so much more of John Hurt as the Doctor. Doesn't have to be the War Doctor. The moment they revealed Hurt was going to be it, I was like, sold. Just in.
Maybe, okay. I'm not caught up on Jodie, so maybe they have done this already in some way. If not... Do you think they're ever going to wrap around and try to retcon / explain the Veil Yard anymore?
They haven't. just for it. The Valeyard being a possible incarnation of the Doctor, right? Like one of his possible last regenerations. The Valeyard never made a ton of sense, and with some of the revelations that have come out of Jodie's thing, he makes even less sense. I think the only way to really explain the Valeyard anymore is that he was lying. That he's not a possible final regeneration of the Doctor who's like turning evil, but it's just the dark side of the Doctor personified. Just make him like the Dream Lord from a few episodes in, who killed it. I just wanted...
Derek Jacobi, right?
No, Derek Jacobi was Toby...
There we go.
Toby, he played... He's in Captain America. Not Toby Whithouse, who wrote this. Toby...
Anyway, no, as soon as you said no, I realized I was wrong.
Yeah.
It snapped in my head.
Derek Jacobi, who is still doing the Master radio episodes.
Oh.
Audio episodes, yeah. Which I'm in. He's the War Master.
Oh, okay.
Before he... I'm sorry, I'm looking up which... Toby Jones is his name.
There we go. Yeah,
it was going to bug me. I just had to get it out there.
Fuck, what were we saying?
War Doctor, Good Doctors.
Yeah.
We're not here today. Sorry, guys.
It's all over the place. It's okay. It was a good episode of Doctor Who.
Yeah, it was a good episode of Doctor Who.
It's a lot easier to talk about when it's bad.
Yeah, maybe we should do that. I'll watch Fear Her again for this.
Yeah.
Or maybe Rings of Akhenaten, where I can defend it a little bit.
Maybe I'll like it more, but...
You're right, the plot of it is garbage. As we've talked about before, with Doctor Who, you get great plot, great special effects, or great character work, and you never get all three in one go.
There was great character work in this. You get to see Smith become the Doctor.
This one comes closest, I think, or one of the closest. Mm-hmm. The plot is a good intro one. There's nothing amazing about it, but
it's solid.
There's no part of it that breaks it for me.
No. There's great little bits of continuity. If you're paying attention, you can piece together what's going on earlier by looking at who the patients actually are in the hospital.
And the Atraxi look fine. I mean, as I said, they look kind of goofy, but in a way that works for Doctor Who. The special effects for Prisoner Zero aren't great, but they're fine. Mm-hmm. So this is one that kind of comes the closest because it lands all three of those things, but not in any
groundbreaking.
Yes,
way.
one side does one bit doesn't overwhelm the other two.
Right.
Watch Doctor Who. Okay. Any recommendations?
Yeah, my recommendation is also something I should have brought up for what I've been ingesting, but I'll pass it along because it's been weirdly meditative for me. I've been watching a ton of a city planner playing cities.
Oh, I was watching some of this with you last week. This is bizarre and really enrapturing.
Yeah, a city planner playing city skylines. I think he just plays, I think on his channel, his plan is to play more city builders than just city skylines, but the city he was
pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, and the city he was working on, I know he works on for at least 30 episodes, because I'm in 20 and I'm seeing the other ones pop up as recommendations. I know that lately he started a build with 5 other city skyline streamers.
Oh wow.
Where each of them build a part of the city, and I think they're building in towards the center. I haven't started that one yet, but it seems also fascinating.
That one could go way more wrong, but that's really kind of fun.
But yeah, dude, watching this guy just build this city of Bluffside Crossing in a game I don't even play has been weirdly fascinating.
Yeah, I walked in and I was like, what the hell, Tyler? And then really quickly I was like, this is kind of amazing.
And it's been
I don't even know why.
I built a bookshelf earlier this weekend watching it. I've been doing everything.
I could see it being a good build show. Something to have on while you're making and kind of keep those creative juices flowing. That makes sense.
So it's great. And I like that he does a couple things that annoy me. Most of the time the sim is going full speed and I can't play like that. It's anxiety inducing. But he also does cool things like trying to make sure the city looks like it's grown organically, making sure to make a downtown area first and like an old town area first, and not laying out a bunch of other things and like growing that up, and
as
then
the city grows,
and then putting it some of that as like historic, so it doesn't change from looking a certain way and stuff. And it's been great.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I had a recommendation, but I'm gonna go with something else just because I feel like adding in some Doctor Who. It's an experience, and you need to step in this will be nothing like the Doctor Who that we've been talking about. But watch The Unearthly Child, the very first Doctor Who serial ever made. You will hate that Doctor. I really love William Troughton as the Doctor, but it takes him a few episodes, and this isn't against William Troughton, but it takes them a few episodes to prove that he's not the worst person alive. He is unlikable in those early ones, but you see hints of what the Doctor will become.
Mm-hmm.
You see why it works. You also see William Troughton teach the cavemen how to make fire, which is dumb, but kind of amazing at the same time. Go into it with, like, maybe a few other friends who are also Doctor Who fans, and being aware of what you're getting into. Also, maybe don't watch it all in one go, because they were originally made as serials, so, 8 episodes for one story, or 4 episodes for one story, half hours each. And if you watch them all in one go, the flow is really funky. But if you watch them like an episode or two at a time, you don't lose track in the way that I inevitably will otherwise.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Good recommendations.
Good recommendations.
Have we figured out what we're doing next time?
No.
We talked about it a little bit, but I don't think we've
landed on
landed
what we're doing
something.
next time, so we'll figure it out.
I don't think we landed on anything. So.
See us again here in 2 weeks.
Yeah. I'm Tyler.
I'm Zac.
Dismissed. Hi, everybody. General Tyler here. If you like the show, please hit subscribe however you're listening to us right now. Also, if you could rate and review us however you're listening to us right now, or preferably over at Apple Podcasts, we would super appreciate it, as the whole world is ran on algorithms, and we want to be all up in them, getting our voice out to more places. Also, tell your friends. We always appreciate that. If you want to get in contact with us, ask us questions, give us comments, email us, generalnerderypod@gmail.com. You can also contact us through our website, www.generalnerdcast.com. While you're there, check out all of our back catalog, or click the links up at the top, as we are part of the Earworm Podcast Network. Go check out all of our sister shows. We're involved with most of them, so if you already like listening to us talk, it might be in your best interest. And if you want to check out everything from the network, head over to earworm.com, EARVVYRM.com. We'd super appreciate it. Love you all. Have a good one.